to another one of our famous cook-offs.
Are you ready? Are you ready to cook?
I'm ready to cook. You?
I'm ready. Do you know what you're going to make for Hanukkah?
Well, I'm going to go see what I have in my kitchen.
Okay, good idea.
Hello, Rena.
Hi!
Your kitchen looks so great. You got there
Yours
so
looks
quickly.
great too. I'm super excited. What are you going to make for Hanukkah?
Well, I thought I would share with you something pretty special to me, and that is this is from my childhood.
Okay.
The pleasures of your food processor. This is kosher cooking at its finest. But for real, it actually is amazing. Look, I don't know if you can see over 700 kosher recipes. Can you see that?
I just want to be clear. I thought I was going to say over 700 ultimate Jewish grandmother recipes. But sure.
Well, you could have said that too. And this is a book that my mother used religiously growing up. It actually comes from an even earlier book that I also have a copy of called Second Helpings, which is from like the 50s, whereas this is from the early 80s or late 70s when food processors came out, or as everyone called them back then, Cuisinarts. Everybody just did
Cuisinarts, right.
So it has a whole section, and I think this is actually really sweet how the section on cookies and squares. And look, you can see it's just all listed, like a million of them.
Oh, I love this.
And some of the names are roly-polies, nothing cookies, spritz cookies. I don't know what those are. Hello Dollies. So it's what all the manda bread.
Since it's all kosher, does it also tell you? Does it also tell you what part of Eastern Europe this came from too? Like, does it go that far?
It's not really about the history. It's really just about
the cookie. Just
the cookies. And it's by a maven bake. Actually, she's a great baker and cook in Canada. The late, great Noreen Gillets. And these are her recipes, but like very much used by the Canadian Jewish community. So you're getting a bit of my background here. And today, what I'm going to be making are cinnamon twist S cookies.
Okay.
They're super simple. They're just like what they sound. You make a cookie dough and you twist them into S's. But instead of doing that today, I'm going to make them into balls and put in the middle of them either a piece of Hanukkah gelt.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
This one, actually, I might have to turn the camera around to show you. Let's see if I can do it. I've got, no, that did not work. How did you know there were M&Ms? I've got little M&Ms.
There's only one blue candy in the world that should go cookie, and it's obviously an M&M.
That's exactly right. So this one, I don't know if you can see it, has a menorah on it.
So cinnamon sugar cookies with chocolate. This is like, you have spoken to my heart.
I've spoken to your heart. Yay. And some of them even say Happy Hanukkah.
Spoken to the stomach that lives in my heart.
Stomach and the heart. They kind of go together.
Happy Hanukkah on them.
Says Happy Hanukkah. So let's see if it actually says it by the end of the cooking. I'm curious.
That's a science experiment in all of this.
It is. So that is my plan for today. What about you?
Oh, I am super excited because I thought, in honor of Hanukkah and oil and, that great miracle in the temple, that I would make an olive oil cake. I'm really excited about the recipe. You know what I just realized though? I think I zested one lemon. I think I might need a second one. Do you happen to have a lemon?
Oh, no worries. I have one here for you. I'll just throw it over. Right. You ready?
I'll throw it over. Yep. Thanks. That was
no problem. I got you.
So this is going to be a beautiful olive oil cake. And of course I'm going to use olive oil from Haaretz, from Israel, because where else do you get the best olive oil from? And it's got like a little bit of vanilla and a little bit of lemon in it. And I'm like really excited. This is going to be just like a light, fluffy, delicious cake. So yeah.
When you go on the Israel trips with the synagogue, do you visit where they make olive oil?
We don't. We visited wineries and chocolate factories, but not so much olive oil.
That sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good.
but I have been in lots of places and been like, look at all the olive oil, you know, and like olive oil.
Yeah,
but you should, you know what?
Oil.
Maybe I'll have to talk to Rabbi Hirsch about this. That in the next Israel mission in December of next year, just in time for Hanukkah next year, we should go to an olive oil factory and like make our own olive oil.
That sounds amazing.
Where
I have
else
images of everybody in bare feet stomping on things, but or is that grapes? That's grapes.
That's great.
It's definitely not olives.
Like the press. Also, I don't want to eat anything somebody stomped on.
I know. I always wondered about that with the grapes.
No. All right. I think we should get to cooking because I really want to eat these cookies today. So let's go. You know, Hanukkah here. Let's go. So let's get.
Now I may need your help because, as you know, baking is not my forte. But we shall get started and see how it goes. And I have Noreen Gillets on my side.
Yeah, you have Noreen, you have me, you have the entirety of the Jewish people on your side. Stephen Wise is rooting for you, okay, and the rest of the Jewish people. So I think that you'll be fine. Just remember to level, like really carefully and go slowly. Mm-hmm. You'll be fine.
All right. Those are not things I usually do, but we shall do that today. Fine. Okay. So what's your first step?
So my first step, let's see, I have to, so in baking, there's the whole thing of like wet and dry ingredients. Do you know this? Because if you watch Great British Baking Show or Nailed It, then you totally know about this. So I'm going to start by mixing up all my dry ingredients, which I have laid out over here, but I lost my bowl. Okay, so I need my flour. And of course, we'll make sure that all of our friends at home get to see these recipes.
So mine's asking for wet first. So I'm going to put together, it's asking for eggs. Actually, it's not true. See, it's starting with sugar, 1/2 cup of sugar. Now here I'm already doing what I do, which is substitute things for things, which I don't think works that well in baking. So we'll see how it goes.
There are certain substitutions that work in baking. So
the first thing it's asking me to do is make cinnamon sugar. So I've got to put in, that's why I need the white sugar, actually. It's not part of the baking recipe, but it's part of like the sprinkling on the top of the cookies. So I've got to add cinnamon and sugar.
It's probably like 3 parts white sugar to 1 part cinnamon. That's usually the ratios.
Pretty good, Rena. I think that's about right. I think it's close.
My apple cake that I made for Rosh Hashanah, which we shared the recipe with everybody, is a cinnamon sugar mix as well. And any other time I've done cinnamon, it's usually about that ratio.
3 to 1. I mean, honestly, actually, now that I'm looking at this, I think it's 6 to 1, but still, because it's 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, 1/2 cup of sugar.
You want very little cinnamon because it's a sugar cookie. So
true. Okay. All right. I'll be right back. I forgot the cinnamon.
That's okay. I just mixed up my flour, my cornmeal, my baking powder, and my salt, which is super exciting. Cornmeal in a cake. Never done that before. And now I'm going to put eggs and my sugar in my mixer over here. My favorite trusty KitchenAid. Like, you're into the Cuisinart. I'm like, stop, KitchenAid, bring it on.
I love my KitchenAid too. Both are
I don't understand people who don't have a KitchenAid. Like, I don't know how to live without my kitchen. So someday though, Sam, I'm going to be one of these people who can crack an egg with one hand. Can you do that?
Yeah.
You can? I can't do that. Can you teach me?
Sure.
You have to teach me that. I don't understand. Maybe I'm just not brave enough. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's probably it, because it just takes a real decisive.
You have to be like.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I'm going to make the cinnamon sugar now. So here we go.
There's the food processor.
Ta-da! I think that's it. Pulse it up. Pulse it up. There, we've got, actually, it's not really much, is it?
How do we, now, does that actually, like, make the sugar, like, finer?
Cinnamony? Oh, no, it's just to mix the cinnamon in, I think. Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Because otherwise you could just do that, with a spoon.
Yeah, I think that at the time that this recipe was made, They were very excited about the food processor. And they wanted to use it as much as possible.
All right.
So, all right. So I'm going to get this sugar going. What are you working on?
So are you excited that it's Hanukkah again?
Oh my gosh. I first of all, I can't really believe it. I mean, it doesn't feel like it yet, but this year is going by so quickly.
Well, it's because it's early too, right? It's when Hanukkah starts in September.
All right, here comes the second egg crack. Ta-da!
It's just I don't understand. You know what it is? It's not the crack, okay? I get the crack.
It's the move.
It's the open. Like, how do you? I can't figure out how to make my hand.
You gotta make those sounds too.
I don't think my hand works that way. That's the problem. I think my hand does not work.
All right, we'll do it when we get to cook together. We'll do it.
Okay, wait. I am about to do the most important part of my recipe. Just want to be clear.
Oh, okay.
The most Hanukkah element is about to happen.
Oil.
Slowly mix in my olive oil as it's whisking.
All right, let's watch you do that. And while you do that, I'm going to go get the brown sugar.
Okay, watch me. You're going to watch me slowly mix in my olive oil.
Yeah.
I can make this happen for you. Okay. Here it goes. Okay, so my mixer's going. And then we're just going to, it's at a slow, steady stream. Beautiful Israeli olive oil. It's delicious. I think it's probably going to be like the centerpiece of the cake there.
I think so too. I think you're going to really taste it.
It's like, listen, making an olive oil cake, it's basically like I'm rededicating the temple right now. Look at this. I'm making my own miracle pasta.
I love it. All right, I've got to start processing the sugar and eggs. Should I turn the camera so everybody can see?
Here goes the food processor again.
The magic. The pleasures of the food processor. Here we go.
It's so beautiful. It is kind of like watching a dryer. You know, like there's like the soothing,
that relaxing circles.
Yeah. It's
the relaxing circles.
It's the circle of life. The circle of food processor. The miracle of Hanukkah exists right there in your food processor.
When rabbis comment on food processors, it becomes the circle of life.
This is when rabbinic humor goes too far. So so what are you doing anything fun for Hanukkah with your family this year? Are you doing anything special?
Definitely. Yeah. We are going to have lots of little Hanukkah candle lightings, which we always love so much. And we love to sit around the menorah, the Hanukkah, and sing songs. We always sing through all of the songs we know. And I was thinking,
so wait, what happens first then? Do the candles burn out or do you run out of songs first?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know what? I don't think we've ever sang until the candles burned all the way out. Because it's not like we're singing for like an hour.
I can't imagine you don't know enough songs to make that happen.
You are probably right, but I think I would lose the rest of the fam if I did it that way. But my kids get really into it. They like, how many candles, how many candles do we light? On the menorah, this Hanukkah night. And then they yell, one, or whatever number it is.
Do they still do it as emphatically now as they did when they were younger?
Depends who is with us for the candle lighting. If it's just the four of us, they do. Or just with us and the grandparents, they do. There's friends here, they do not, but they'll still sing.
Well, that's not cool. You gotta be cool.
How about your kids? What are the Rifkin's favorites Hanukkah songs?
Well, my kids are really into like the classics, right? The American Jewish classics. Like Micah loves Rena. We like to spin and do all of that. And we do a lot of like Hanukkah, those kind of simple songs. As I have told you many times, Ma'otzor, personal favorite. So, and then every year, like somebody comes home from school or religious school or ECC with like a new fun song. So we always add that in. But look at this. This is my beautiful lemon zest. Do you see how much?
Oh, it does look gorgeous.
Like this. So
My pleasure.
there it goes in there. The best part of lemon zest is like, smells so good.
The best smell.
So good. So good. Smells so good right now. So let's see. I added and now I'm going to add my vanilla. And then, I think I just love like standing around with my kids every night and lighting the Hanukkah candles and like turn off the lights and everybody's sort of like beautifully colored by, just the light of the candles on their faces. And it's kind of amazing that way. So the whole recipe is like, you need 2 lemons. Okay. They were like, you need 2 lemons. Now, granted, I used, this is not a small lemon. Okay. Like this is a rather large lemon, but
yes,
just look at this. This was 1 and I still have leftover. So I really didn't. So note to self, you don't need 2 lemons. You just need
so you
1.
can pass me the lemon back.
Yeah, you ready? You want it back?
I'm ready.
I don't need to keep it. Okay.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. So, all right. So I got to start.
So listen to this, Rena.
Yeah.
It says, you know how you said like the wet flour and the dry flour and all that?
The wet and dry
Noreen
ingredients.
Gillets in the Pleasures of Your Food Processors is just having me put the dry right in.
Yes, that's what you do. Once you have the wet mixed together, you add the dry.
You see, you can tell I don't bake very often.
It depends. Well, because it depends what you need your flour mixture to do first. Sam, I don't understand. Do you not watch Great British Baking Show? Do you not
I actually do. And I make challah a lot. And I even make babka. I just don't make like cookies and stuff like that. But I am today.
Yeah, that's true. I am about to add my dry ingredients as well. Here we go.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm looking at the recipe. What's the next?
I hope I was supposed to
do
read
it very carefully. Flour is next. Okay, that's.
It's funny. There are certain recipes that no matter how many times I've made them, I have to read it every time I do it.
Yeah.
Do you find that?
See, I don't like to cook with recipes very much at all. I like to just read them for fun and then go cook.
As I always say, this is the difference between you and me. I'm very like, there are so many other areas of my life where I'm like, don't tell me what to do. I'm just going to do it how I want. And when I'm in the kitchen, I'm like, somebody tell me exactly what to do and what steps to follow. I don't need to be creative in the kitchen. It's not part of my.
That is so the opposite of me. All right. All right. So now it's telling me to process with several on and off turns. Should we show the food processor once again?
Obviously, because it's the joy of your food processor.
Pleasures of your food processor.
The pleasures. Excuse me. Pleasures.
All right, here it is.
There it goes. Come on, food processor.
All right, it looks like it's going to need a little help.
You're going to have to give it some more pulses there.
Yeah, I'm also going to have to tamper it down.
Yes,
so
probably
that is also true. For this.
Yeah, that's that. I will say, I wonder, here's what I've never made cookies in a food processor. And I keep watching it and wondering what will that do? Is that going to essentially sift and make the dough, make the flour finer too? There's lots of stuff about over mixing and whatever. Will it do that?
That's true. Well,
I don't know.
We'll see if it's delicious. You know what? You're going to get to taste these, so you can tell me.
I'm super excited. You know what? Here's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be our new Hanukkah tradition, where we cook and we taste each other's cooking.
Definitely, I love that.
You should make something for me, and I should make. Maybe we should do this every holiday, where I make something.
I think that's great. I have to tell you, I forgot an ingredient.
Uh-oh.
I forgot oil. No wonder it didn't look like it was mixing.
Well, because you never.
So it's funny, of all things to forget on Hanukkah, I forgot the oil. So here we go.
What? You know why you forgot the oil?
Why?
Because there wasn't enough.
But
What a humor 101 for you right there.
Now I really could have bumped this up and done olive oil here, but I didn't want it to taste so olivey. I didn't think it would go.
You know, it is a beautiful little story about oil and Hanukkah and like the idea of like, what do you ever have enough and what is enough and our expectations of what something can do versus what it actually can do. Don't you think there's something in there about that?
I think that's very beautiful
in there.
I love that.
You know,
beautiful,
sometimes we don't give ourselves or the things around us enough credit that they're going to do exactly what we need them to do.
Yeah, and I think this year we've been through really helps us to know that we don't need as much as we thought we needed. You know, we can get by on a lot less.
So
and
true.
That some of the things that we take for granted or we took for granted are really actually much more than what they seem.
Mm-hmm. Well, and how much more fuller our life was when we didn't, in some ways, when we didn't have certain things, right? Like how much more we got to spend with time with our family and, you know, how less programmed we were. And we got to really just like, I don't know, like we spent all of last year having movie afternoons every week, you know, every Sunday was a movie afternoon. I don't think we've ever done that before. We were always so busy. We couldn't spend 2 hours watching a movie. So it is so nice to kind of peel back and you see what the possibility is of what can that little bit get that you didn't think it could. So I don't know. Yeah. We might have to write some amazing sermon about this someday.
Sounds like a sermon brewing for sure. All right, I'm gonna turn on my food processor, so I'm gonna turn off my volume.
Okay.
And maybe you can show them something you're working on.
Well, I will for sure show everybody something I'm working on. So I'm going to turn my camera around too. This is going to be fun. So this is my beautiful batter for my olive oil cake. It actually looks really, really lovely. And here you can see my prepped pan it got sprayed a while ago, so you can't see the spray anymore. But then I put my parchment paper on and my oven over here preheating to 350. But look how pretty this looks. It looks so lovely and delicious. And so, you know, what I'm very excited about for this cake is that it looks so simple, right? Like it feels like it's going to be just a light, breezy, simple cake. After October in my family is birthday month, as you know, Sam. And so after a lot of chocolate cakes and cookie cakes and frosting and to just have like a light, lovely olive oil cake feels very refreshing.
It sounds delish.
I know.
I like that it has the seminola in it too. Yum.
Yeah, the seminola, the lemon, and the vanilla. I feel like it's going to be super special. So
me too.
So, and I'm always excited to like try a new recipe and be like, hey, I can bake. So
you can. You are a good baker for sure.
I hold my own. I think I do okay.
You absolutely do.
Day by day. So. Proving day
all right, I am getting ready. My dough is ready.
I'm really
gonna make it into
I
little
want to
balls.
see is you put the gelt in there. I want to see the gelt.
I will show you when I do that. But of course, I've never done this before, so it'll be interesting to see how it all turns out. I'm just going to grab one piece.
You roll the ball and then stick the gelt in the middle, and don't flatten it out.
Yeah, something like that. I'm going to get like one of these little melon.
The cookie will flatten itself a little bit in the oven, is my guess.
That's right. Yeah.
So don't go crazy. Stick the gelt in there.
That's a good point. All right.
Okay. Batter in cake.
You know what? Even if it's a fail, it's fun.
Even if it's a fail, it'll taste good.
We hope.
No, it'll have chocolate gelt in it. How is it going to be bad?
So how about some fun civi bone, some fun dreidel facts? You want some fun dreidel facts?
Well, I mean, let's see. We can start with the easy dreidel fact of like the dreidels in Israel have a different letter on them, you know?
Yes. Why don't you tell us?
So, when you go to Israel and you buy a dreidel in Israel, instead of saying Nes Gadol Haya Sham, Nun Gimel Hay Shin, it says Nes Gadol Haya Po, because Sham means there, a great miracle happened there, but Po means here, and we know that, of course, the miracle happened there in Israel. It's why our olive oil today had to come just from Israel, because otherwise, what is the point? So that is my favorite. I love when we bring you.
But our friends who are watching, it's okay if you buy olive oil from somewhere else too. Still celebrating the holiday.
Sure.
We are not judging you or your olive oil. How's that?
There you go. But I do love when we bring into religious school the two dreidels and the kids look and they're like, oh, something's wrong with this dreidel. And we have to teach them, it's not, something's wrong with it. It's not weird. The shin's not funny looking. It's a different letter. And why would it be? And where did this come from? And that is really cool. Fun. I don't know. What's your fun dreidel fact?
I have a few, but one of them is that, did you know that that the game of dreidel, spinning the dreidel and playing the game, comes from medieval Germany. And the letters are used like this. Nicht for nothing.
Yeah.
Like for the nun, ness. The gimel is ganz, all. I'll get all of it.
Okay.
The hey is halb for half.
Okay.
And the shin becomes stell, which means put one in.
This is so cool.
Isn't that cool? And symbolically, the top reminds us of the turnover of events that a group of people who were considered, by far not the people who would succeed and who would overcome the Antiochus's army, Judah and the Maccabees and the forces were able to turn over the natural sequence of events. This was overturned, so like the dreidel.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought about that. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I love, that's amazing. The Yiddish language of it is so beautiful and very, very cool. Hanukkah always makes me think of, I think it's Margaret Mead, the quote of never doubt that a small group of people can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Because I'm always looking at the Maccabees as look, this small group of nobodies, right? They shouldn't have defeated the Greeks. And yet they did. It always reminds me.
I know. It really is a remarkable story. And then there's also, in the JPS Hanukkah anthology, they talk about a really beautiful spiritual reading of the letters and looking at the mystical reading of them. And in that reading, the nun is for nefesh or soul. The gimel of the dreidel is for guf or body. The hey of the dreidel is for hakol, sort of all the pieces of us together. And the shin of the dreidel is for seichel, our wisdom, our mind, our everyday wisdom. And that all of those pieces come together and we spin them. We could be relying on one side or another, but you spin them, and we have all of them.
I wonder if do they also say depending on where the dreidel lands, that's your dominant part?
That's interesting. No, but they say that what they do say is that everything is set forth in cycles and that things change and spin, but all emanate from one root. And that the dreidel reflects the game of chance of life, and that even within ourselves, each individual, that we're a unified whole, and yet certain aspects of us come to the forward and come to the front.
This is so beautiful. I never thought about the dreidel in this really spiritual, thoughtful way. I love that. But it's making me think about the way that you're describing the parts and them all coming together. It's also connecting me as I think about still my lemon, the rest of my lemon zest, which smells delicious. It's making me think about the lulav and the etrog, right? all of the pieces coming together and how beautiful. It's so, I feel like it's so, this is the essence of Judaism, right? That we see all of the disparate parts and the importance of coming together. And and how we do that on Hanukkah and on so many Jewish holidays, right? We take all of these pieces and we bring them together and we celebrate them. We do the same thing on Passover, all of the parts of the Seder plate and all of those things. So it's just a
So
beautiful.
true.
And also to think about, like, if you think about the dreidel and how we're teeter-tottering, right, on that such a delicate center. So much, it takes so, so many people,
life. That's
so many people go, in this time of year, so many people are starting to go ice skating around the city. And I was walking by with Eden the other day, and she was like, "Oh, I can balance, no problem." And she stood on one foot in her sneakers. And I was like, "Yes, but when you ice skate, there's a thin blade there between your shoe and the ice. And it's not so easy, like we think we have balance, but then as we start to sort of reduce what's beneath us, how interesting that balance becomes. So the dreidel is definitely a really cool reminder of all of that.
I love the way you said that. That's really beautiful and so true.
I just put my cake in the oven. I'm very excited. And
we didn't get to see it. Can we see it in the oven? Can you show us?
It's not much to see. It's just yellow batter in a cake pan. But I will tell you, okay, I know there's going to be lots of people who are like, you shouldn't do this. But I maybe tasted a drip of the batter.
Rabbi Rifkin, how could you?
It's so good. You can taste like a little bit of that cornmeal with a little bit of the olive oil and a little bit of the vanilla and like the lemon. It is like the perfect combination of ingredients. I'm very excited about this cake.
Well, that sounds delish. All right, I'm going to turn my camera around to show you, because you asked. By popular demand from Rabbi Rena Rifkin, I'm going to show you this amazing moment of sticking in the...
Okay, here we go. Put it in.
There we go. So you can see these are not like beautiful, perfect circles, because I am not a good baker. Actually, I shouldn't put myself down. Let's see. Maybe this will be
an excellent
cookie. Thank you. All right, there's one. You see that?
I think you need to push it in probably a little. Yeah, that's
how's that?
I think so.
Maybe I have to.
No, just a little.
There's probably some bakers on watching or who are thinking, "Oh no, Rabbi Sandy, you're doing it wrong."
I know. Probably people just.
All right, let's see. And I'm sure I am doing. I'm sure that it's not quite right, but we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. But look at those cute M&Ms.
In a little while, we're gonna eat them, and they're gonna be delicious. I'm super excited. The batter looks really lovely. It came together so nicely. Your dough.
You think? All right.
It's holding.
I don't know. I don't feel that confident about my cooking making skills, but I will definitely let you know. And I hope I'm encouraging some people who don't think of themselves as good bakers to get out there and give it a try.
Yeah. Well, I'm very excited. Here, I'll give everybody a little sneak peek into my oven here. I'm not going to open it because that's like a huge baking no-no. But right there, I don't know if you can see it, but right over there is my, it's hard to see in there, but right over there is my little pan in there. And
fingers crossed. All right, Rabbi Rifkin, this has been great fun. I'll see you in just a little bit, and we'll taste each other's.
Yeah, we gotta eat those things when we get them out of the oven in just a little while. Delicious.
That's right.
I'm gonna need to test one gelt cookie and one M&M cookie.
All right, then I'm gonna need to taste one piece for the lemon and one piece for the olive oil. How's that?
No problem. I'll make sure we have some nice hearty slices.
All right. Bye, everybody. See you in a little bit.
Bye.
Are we ready? Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Hanukkah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim lavoteinu bayamim hahem ba'azman
Can you say Happy Hanukkah?
Happy Hanukkah.
Hanukkah linda estar aquí. Ocho candelas para mí. Oh, uno candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Shall we taste our...
Yes. You know, Micah insisted. He heard that there was going to be cake and cookies, and he said that he had to come help us.
Here are the cookies.
Do you want to try a cookie? Which cookie should we
This
try?
cake looks amazing.
I'm very
I'm gonna
excited.
try
Here
one
it
of
is.
these.
With the giant piece of gelt in it? Okay, go ahead.
All right,
Let's
I'm gonna
see.
take
Take a big bite.
Oh,
How is
and
it? Was it delicious? Two
It-
thumbs up?
I feel good now.
2 thumbs up.
It got
Look at
Micah's
that.
seal
It
of
got a
approval.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
Should I try one of these with the M&Ms in it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, I'm going to take a little piece
And
of that.
by the way, the printing did not stay
The
on.
cake?
The cake is next for sure.
You
All
want-
right, let's switch it
Mm.
out.
Oh, these are very good.
Oh,
Yeah,
good,
I'm
so
gonna have
glad.
this piece.
Mm-hmm. Let's use
All
the
right, I'm
fork,
gonna try this cake. I must admit, I already tried the
Yeah.
cookies. If
You
I'm
ate
being
them at home?
Yes, I did. If I'm being completely honest,
Mm.
they were a little too sweet.
Mm.
I would cut the sugar if you follow the recipe.
All right, let's
here we
see what you
go.
think.
How does Michael like it?
I don't know. 1 thumb up or 2?
Mm.
Only 1, I think. It's good, right?
Excellent. Oh,
It's really,
delicious.
it's amazing how I did taste it also at home because, you know, there's the crumble. You have
How
to eat
could
the
you not?
crumbs. You have to eat the crumbs. And the cornmeal and the vanilla and the
delicious.
olive oil, it just really sings. Yeah? Do you like it?
No.
No?
No, I do like the oil.
Oh, you do like the oil.
Well,
Okay.
that's great because that's the best part. For
Can mommy
Hanukkah.
have a taste?
It is delicious.
It is delicious. Hanukkah's really fun for having delicious things, right?
Yeah,
This is
I like
true.
Yeah.
cookies.
This is true. It's a time you don't have to feel guilty about having fried foods.
I also thought
A dreidel?
Mm-hmm.
we might need to have a little dreidel time.
No, let's spin it.
Let's spin it. That's a great idea. I'm going to move this over and we can spin our dreidel. Do you remember how? Okay, ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Say Happy Hanukkah!
Happy Hanukkah!
With the dreidel.
We got a
None.
none. Good job.
Let's
High five.
do it 4 more times. 4.
Four
We're
more
gonna
times?
do it 4 more times.
We're going to do it 4 more times.
But happy Hanukkah,
Happy
everybody.
Hanukkah!